There I am. There I am. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hope everybody's had a good day. Hope you had a good night's sleep last night. Hope hey Guido, how you doing? Um I have a video I want to play tonight of Rick Crude calling Marina PD, trying to tell them that I called a welfare check on him. I didn't call a welfare check on him. His screw up was he got a hold of the same cop that came out and did the welfare check on me. And then he lied and said, well, that's because she didn't have any food. I've never said I didn't have any food. Never said that. But then all he does is lie. He lies like a dog. Hey, Nemesis Apprentice, welcome. Oh, I got my van back. It drives like a totally different vehicle. Uh, Everything from busted leaf springs to I don't know, some other sensors in the wheel. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell it was. Almost $1,500, but at least it's fixed now. Um, Snowball goes in. I think in 2 days. Uh, she goes in for a cut. I missed. Oh crap! I missed one appointment because I didn't have a vehicle. I had no way to get her there, and so I canceled one. And she goes in every 2 weeks. So, and every other visit is a cut, and every other visit is just a bath. So, Mr. John Hanzo, howdy, howdy. Um, Gotta ask you there, Mr. Hanzo. Did you hear Rick Crude claim that when I step my foot in Texas, I'm going to jail because he called and reported me for continual harassment. He reported me for harassment. I think that's absolutely hilarious. All he does is harass and cyberbully. That's all he does. It just cracks me up. Rick Rude thanks Marina PD for their service. Really, when he called him, his problem is he got a hold of the same cop that came out and did the welfare check, and he tried to tell the cop that he came out and did the welfare check. He knew it was from Rick Cruz, so uh, he tried to tell the cop that I called the welfare check on him. No, it wasn't me that called the welfare check on him. It was him that called the welfare check on me. And then he lied and said, well, that's because she didn't have anything to eat. No, you're a damn liar. I've never said that. I've never said that. If I don't want to cook, I go out and buy it dinner, you know? So I've got that I want to play. And he claims and he told the officer that he talked to, he finally said, F you, F you. Yeah. That'd be Richard Cruz. Richard Xavier Cruz. Uh, I see you. I've got one that just popped up from John Hanzo. It says, Rick Crude thanks Marina PD for their service. That's probably the video. Yeah. So Jesus. Anyhow, I got 109 degrees. It is hot. Um, there's the wind chimes Rick Crude can't stand playing their little tune. I saved for I saved a whole year for those. I paid $115 for those wind chimes. They're huge. My video explains what will happen to Crude if he steps foot in your yard. Yeah, there you go. That's right. That's right. Um, he has been warned. I've warned him that he has trespassed from my uh, from my property, and it's public on the internet. And I know damn good and well he heard it because he's commented on it. Uh, oh, there you go. There you go. Let me get on the YouTube side. That's YouTube Studio. There's YouTube. Ah, Frappola. There we go. So let's play that real quick. um, now, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I want to screen share. There we go. He thanks Marina PD for their service on YouTube. This ought to be a good one. Come on, where's the play key? Damn it. Let me try it again. Let me try it again. I'm going to stop the screen share. Let's screen share it again. Share. Here we go.
God damn it.
Thank you for calling the Marana Police Department. If this is an emergency, please hang up now and dial 911. Please listen carefully as our menu options have recently changed. To make a police report or to speak to an officer, press 1. To request a copy of the police report or body-worn camera footage, press 2. For questions about property, evidence, or an impounded vehicle, press 3. For information about public fingerprinting services, including days, hours, and a fee, press 4. For all other inquiries or to speak with a customer service representative, press 5. Marana Police Department, this is Mallory.
Yes, Miss Mallory. My name is Richard Cruz. I'm calling from Houston, Texas. I filed a report with my police department here in Houston on a Diana White that she keeps saying I'm harassing her, all this other stuff. She's making up a bunch of bullshit. She has a little gang.
Okay, but this person is harassing you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the way we do it is we base it off of your address. So you're going to have to file that with your local police.
I did, and I'm going to tell you right now. All right. She's harassing. They can't do anything because she's not in the state of Texas. The moment she comes into Texas, she has a warrant for her arrest. So either you do something, stop the harassment, or I like to speak to your chief. Because he's also claiming to be a police officer.
Okay, so like I said, we base that stuff off of your address. So that would be in Houston, and if your police department needs our assistance, they'll reach out to us.
Okay, fine. I don't know why they would need your assistance. I'm in the third largest city in the United States, but she has a whole group of people that are making false accusations against me, making false police reports, all from your town. She's also claiming to be an ex-law
I
enforcement.
understand that it could be coming from our town, but since you're the victim, it's based off of your address.
Okay, that's fine. I'll deal with it. I'm telling you, I'll deal with it. So I heard Rick Cruz say he was coming to Di's place, and when she opens the front door, he will punch her in the face. I sure will. No, I'm coming. That old lady is a fucking coward. She's scared to death of me. She's so scared that I may one day show up at her house. And it's easy. I have an ex-wife that lives right there in Phoenix. Okay? They live in El Mirage. It ain't hard for me to go to Arizona. You're gonna do it. She's also saying that your police department has verified all her badges. So that's gonna go on y'all. Have a good day.
Is there anything else I can?
Nah, fuck you. So fuck that police department. It's useless and worthless. The moment Diana steps into the state of Texas, she'll be arrested.
See there? See there? The moment I step in the state of Texas, I'm going to be arrested. Really? What's the charge there, Officer Cruz? What's the charge? You big running dummy. Jesus God Almighty. What's the charge going to be there, Officer Cruz? Because you were a police officer, don't you know? Yeah, I think it's absolutely freaking hilarious. He's going to tell them how to do their job. Yep. Sweaty Betty and Robbie. And I've said I'm retired law enforcement. And I did it for free. And I held down a 50-hour work paid job while I did it. A week, 50 hours a week. And every 4 weeks, it was up to sometimes 9 o'clock at night. And I started at 6 in the morning. And when I got a call from Sheriff Don Gasparini, I did what I was asked to do. My husband knew it, my kids knew it. So I didn't get on YouTube and brag about it. I never did. I never got on YouTube and bragged about it. Well, let's see. See which one I'm on here now. There we go. Hopefully you can still hear me. Yeah, I can see the ring bouncing out. He's gonna deal with it by sitting in a scooter, calling, making phone calls. Yeah. And when he called before, when he did the welfare check on me, he called it, and it would be just my luck that he get the officer that came out and did the welfare check. And he said that I called and got a welfare check on him. And the cop says, no, she didn't call for a welfare check. You did. And that just happened to have been the officer that showed up at the door. I never called for a welfare check on him. He's such a lying piece of garbage. Life must be very miserable for Ricky. Uh, find a hobby, Ricky, other than whining and snitching on old ladies. Yeah, I'm 77 years old. Uh, and remember the one video he put up? He says, and this was News Now Preston's expertise went into this. He said, I was arrested 3 years ago in 2023. And the timeline is right. And the age is right and everything because I was 50 3 years ago. Wait a minute. Can you take 3 from 7 with one hand, Rick, and come up with 4 fingers? That would have made me 74. Always WW. Evening, everyone. Good evening. Yep. And I was kind of busy, so I had to start this a half an hour late, but that's fine. I can go for an hour and a half instead of 2. So I just thought it was wonderful. And notice when he called Marina PD, he didn't tell them that he was a police officer. Did you notice that? He didn't tell them he was a police officer. Yeah. He's such an idiot. He's an absolute moron. You've heard of morons. My word is more off because a moron is more on right at the time that they open their moronic mouth than a more off is because they couldn't get anything right. If you colored it with the crayon, they couldn't get it right. Yeah. I think he's hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious. He said that I've called all these agencies on him. Nope, it wasn't me. Said I called the ATF. Nope, I've never called the ATF. Never. I have never called the ATF. Sorry, Rick. You got me mixed up with somebody else. But then he claims he was a U.S. Marshal. He was a Houston PD officer. But then he didn't tell Marina Police Department that. He lied and said, I called for a welfare check on him. Nope, wasn't me. You called for a welfare check on me, Rick. Well, that's because she said she didn't have anything to eat. That's a bullshit lie. You got to come up with a better lie than that, Rick. Claims he's Homeland Security. Claims he protected the president, so that would make him Secret Service. All that happy crap. So Sally. So Sally. Then he gets on and he does a video and he says, well, I did work under Homeland Security. No, the hell you didn't. No, you didn't. Lying dog. Claim you worked under the with the auspice of being under U.S. Marshals. No, the hell you didn't. You sure as hell didn't, Rick. You're a lying dog. And when I step one step in Texas, I'm going to jail. On what charges there, Rick? What charges? You better be able to prove what your claims are. Because it comes out of your mouth isn't proof. You got to have proof. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me going to Katy, Texas, to moving to Katy, Texas. You're an idiot. So, I mean, I've heard moronic statements in the past, but Jesus, crime in Italy. Because you say something doesn't make it proof, and it doesn't make it fact, because you can't get anything right, and you've already stated how many times? I can't remember shit. That's right. Something wrong with your head, Rick. You see if you can get some help with that. All you do is run your mouth about me. Between you and News Now, Preston, Houston, or Nashville, what the hell ever, that moron that claims he's an investigative reporter, you're nothing but a First Amendment auditor. That's all you are, you dumb. You're an absolute idiot. There's absolutely something wrong with you. And I was a volunteer firefighter. And I'm not going to tell you my chief's name. I don't have to. And I know exactly where it's at. And I know exactly where Don Gasparini is buried. And every time I go back to Illinois, and it's not pronounced Illinois. The S is silent, moron. You're a moron. Every time I go back to Illinois, I stand down at his graveside and I salute him. He was a damn good sheriff. He had a very colorful past, but once he became the elected sheriff, hey, a Desert Goat. Desert Goat says, personally, I think Rick is beyond help mentally. I agree with that. And hello, Lady Di. Hello, Desert Goat. Yep. All he does is put up garbage. He told the Marina Police Department that I said that WWE was suing him. That's not what I said, Rick. Rico Act 25. Hey, Ricky, do you realize how bad you look calling the cops on an elderly lady in Arizona? No, he doesn't. He thinks he's doing great feats. You sound like the biggest baby in Texas, Rico Act says. Abso-frickin-lutely. It's called dial whine 11, Rick. Whine 11. Desert Goat, Lady Di, I can tell you this much. Rick is going to lose his mind once he finds out I'm going back to Texas soon. Oh my God, Desert Goat, you'll have a seizure. Hey, Patriot Defense. One of Rick's problems is due to extreme diabetes. High sugar can change your mindset. Sugar does a lot on your body and mind. Look it up. Absolutely, it does. I don't have sugar. I don't do anything sugar. I mean, I had some peanut M&Ms, and I'm using them to make me sleepy because I'm not supposed to have any sugar. But it's the Halloween packets that's up for sale now for Halloween sales, a bag of those. And there's like 6 of them in there. Rico Act, nobody on earth would take you seriously. 56-year-old baby in fear of his life over a 77-year-old woman. Yeah, no kidding, Rico Act. No sugar is the best of Rick's problems, or the least of Rick's problems. PD, are you nuts? Yeah, I think there's something wrong with his brain. I really do. Patriot Act says if your A1C is above 6, you're a type 2 for sure. Yep. I am a type 2. I am a type 2. My sugar will jump whenever I eat a soda cracker, it'll jump over 250 and then immediately drop to under 50. They told me at one time I had a 7. My A1C was 7. So, and Rick drinks all that sugared pop, eats cake, eats bread, he eats buns, eats hamburgers and buns. You know how much sugar's in a damn bun? You know how much sugar's in 4 gallons of milk? Yeah. Patriot Defense. They like to see 6 and below. Yep, I know it. I know it. He claims his A1. He claims the sugar one time was 989, something like that, which is a bald-faced lie because if he's testing his sugar, if he had that type amount of sugar in his system from drinking all that soda, he'd be in a coma. Desert Goat. He doesn't like me at all, and it's funny on how he calls me black when I am obviously white. My chest and legs prove that. I'm just well tanned on my arms and face due to years of working outside. Absolutely. Absolutely, Desert Goat. I don't go very many places, but I don't smoke inside my house. And anytime I smoke a cigarette, my butt's outside. And my arms are very tan just from that. Patriot Defense, he never liked me. I haven't even met the guy. Yeah, I know. I know. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Oh, he's just an idiot. He's an idiot. There's something wrong with his brain. I'm telling you. It's 6 o'clock here now. And at 7, I'm going to be off. Um, Desert Goat. Guess he dropped out of school when they guess he dropped out of school when they got it in basic biology in school. Yeah, yeah, that's right. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. Like I said, he's a moron. And you could color it with a crayon, and he still couldn't get it right. You know, Desert Goat. Uh, I don't even think he's graduated from junior high school, let alone senior high. I mean, he doesn't know how to write. He can't even come close to writing anything in slang. He's a bigot. He's a racist. He called a office one time, a state office, and he claims that that he wants to know who turned him in. And it was, I guess, for grass or weeds along the side of his house. I don't know what the hell it was for. John Hansel says we all live in Lady Di's city, according to Officer Rick. Yeah. He doesn't have two brain cells to bump together, Desert Goat. Rick has two brain cells fighting for the 9th place. Yeah. I asked him one time on Lisa B's, when was your tour of service, Rick? And he said, what? I said, when was your tour of service? And he said, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Wait a minute. You're talking to somebody that was prior law enforcement and they don't know what it means, what your tour of service is? In other words, when were you a police officer? When was your tour of service? He doesn't know what that means. I mean, it's just pathetic. He's pathetic, is what he is. He lost his toes because he refused to go to the hospital. His toes turned black. They died. It's everybody, including myself, back then. I was talking to him back then. I told him, you need to go. Don't put this off. You need to go. Get into the ER. I'll go when I'm goddamn good and well ready to go. Okay. I said no more. Everybody else on his stream was telling him, you need to go. You need to go. You need to go. You're going to wind up losing your foot. I'll go when I'm goddamn good and well ready to go. Okay. Oh. He claims he was a 1%er. And then he claims he was part of the Bandito gang. He was a U.S. Marshal, Houston PD officer, Homeland Security officer, Secret Service agent. What's a felony stop, Rick? When is a felony stop conducted, Rick? All the slams down on the mat may have effed some brain cells. Yeah, that could be, Patriot. Could be. But he claims he told Marina PD that I said WWE was suing him. I never said that. I never said that, you big running dummy. Don't forget the cartels too, Die. Oh yeah, he belongs to the cartels. I'm gonna tell you what, if you were a 1%er and you opened your mouth, you wouldn't be breathing anymore. If you were one of the banditos and you opened your mouth and said you were actually a bandito, and you actually were, you wouldn't be breathing anymore. Rick? What an idiot. Remember when he had that bowl of he called it cocaine, and it wasn't cocaine, and he was putting some on his hand and then snorting it. You remember that? You remember when he had a prescription for Tylenol 3 plus codeine, which takes a prescription. He said it was 500 milligrams. This is a good shit. This is a good shit. And he said he needed it for pain control. And then he got on the air and telling everybody what great shit it is. And this is the real stuff. This is the cheap shit. He says, how much you give me for it? I want $10 a pill. Yeah. Remember that? No, John Hansel, absolutely not. The one percenters and cartels don't like cop collars either. That's absolutely correct. Absolutely frickin' correct. But he wanted to sell it for $10 a pill. Remember that? He was when he had the bowl, he said it was cocaine. You know what that was? It was baking soda. He was snorting baking soda and claimed it was cocaine. Do you know how much a big glass bowl of cocaine would cost? Um, I'm just saying. Uh, he was never Homeland Security. He was never Secret Service agent. He was never Houston PD officer. I did a FOIA on him years ago. He was never a U.S. Marshal. He was never any of that stuff. There's something wrong with his brain. He tells a lie and then believes it's true. It's nuts. Then he went into the hospital and he's videotaping in the hospital. You can't do that. It's a private hospital. You can't do that. You cannot do that. And then he's videotaping the nurses as they're coming in his room. He didn't tell them that he was diabetic when he was in there. He was on a high sugar diet. I mean, he has absolutely nothing to back up that crap for proof. Absolutely zero zip zilch. Nothing. Um, yep. They don't like cops who infiltrate their groups either. A Desert Goat says, to the best of my knowledge, one percenters don't like cops who infiltrate their groups. That's absolutely correct. And um, I mean, look, I am not sub to him. I am not sub to the other idiot in Nashville. I don't watch their crap. I won't give them a view. I don't care what they say. Doesn't hurt me, doesn't bother me. But, John Hansel, he had a gun in the hospital room too. Absolutely illegal to carry in any Texas hospital. Absolutely. You can't. Uh, the best in the world. How you doing there, Ben? Welcome. Desert Goat, Lady Di. Yep. And from the way the nurses were acting, he was making them very uncomfortable. Absolutely. Absolutely. He was told, shut it off and shut it off now. So what did he do? He killed the camera and kept it going. Best in the world. Dolly Parton passed away. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Well, rest in peace, Dolly Parton. I know there is a YouTube channel that says Dolly Parton's manager. You don't want to have anything to do with that. That is bogus. Bogus as hell. Um, you have a clue what her age was? She was an awesome singer. I like Dolly Parton. She used to sing some pretty good songs with oh God, I can see him in my mind's eye. Um, the Coward of the County, he sang that song. They sang some good duets together. He had a white beard. I don't mean a great big huge beard, but he had a white beard. She was 80. Wow. Died at the age of 80. Well, she's 3 years older than I am. Uh, Kenny Rogers. Yes, Kenny Rogers. There you go. Thanks, John. Yeah, Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. They sang some really good duets. They don't make actresses and they don't make movies and they don't make music the way they used to. You know, you ever heard of screamo? Car horns honking, babies crying, and somebody screaming in the background. They call that screamo. They call that. Yeah, that was crass. That was crazy. Best in the world. Ben, I heard the song that her and Kenny Rogers sing together. Yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace, Dolly. I think he's been gone for years too. I'm not sure of that, but I think he is gone also. Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers used to have um, in Rockford. He used to have a restaurant, and they had flame broiled chicken rotisseries, and that was named Kenny Rogers Chicken. So just want want to let you know, Lady Di. Yeah, that's great. That's great, Ben. I really appreciate it. Um, but I want to know what I'm going to go to jail for. That's what I want to know. According to Rick Crude, I stepped 1 foot in Texas and I'm going to jail. All I can tell you, sucker, you better know what the hell you're talking about. You tell them a bunch of damn lies and you can't prove it. And I mean, prove it with actual evidence, dumb dumb. Your ass is going to go to jail, not mine. He claims I was arrested. I've never been arrested in my freaking life. Yeah. He claims he's bedbound. He can't get out of bed. And he sits there underneath this fan sitting up, claims his arm is screwed up and he can't use it. He doesn't have a problem picking up his right arm and smoking cigarettes and holding it up to his mouth and all that crap. Claims he's in the pain, the pain, the pain in his hands from arthritis. Yeah. John Ansel, who remembers Cruz live streaming from a crowded hospital waiting room and farting out loud? Sounded like he'd shit his pants. I remember that too. Yep, yep. I remember that. I'm trying to remember the medical term for when his toes turn black. The flesh actually died, and I can't remember the medical term for it. But then I don't have any medical training either. All he does is smoke cigarettes and talk crap about people. Best in the world, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And he can't ever tell the truth. He can't tell the same story twice with the same facts. Claims he doesn't crap his pants. Claims I wear diapers. I don't wear diapers. I've never worn a diaper in my life. If I needed to wear a diaper, I would. But I'm going to tell you who needs to wear the diapers. That's Rick Crude. First, he says, I've never crapped my pants. And then two posts prior to that, he said, well, yeah, I've crapped my pants, had diarrhea and crapped my pants. Everybody has. It's normal. Have gas and go to, let it out, you crap. Sorry. I never have. Never have. John Hansel says, did you hear his stream today with a therapist? Mama Cat and the kittens were there. No, I don't watch his garbage, John. It's all garbage. It's all lies. He says there's no law that says I have to feed a cat. Well, that may be true, Rick, but you can't abuse one either. Ben says, I don't want this garbage eater. Yeah, I know. Nemesis Apprentice, I knew the cat story was BS, so he wouldn't get reported abusing Meow Meow. Yeah, can you not come up with a better name than Meow Meow? No, there's what you call some original names. Meow Meow. He was telling the therapist about you and me. Really? Really? Yeah, I don't watch his BS. He says that me, have made all these calls. And I remember one office, I can't remember if it was a state office, is all I can tell you. And he said that he wanted to know who turned him in, and that was for all the grass in his backyard. And that's when he told his caretakers, get out there and mow it. And well, I hope you downloaded that, John. I'd love to hear that. And he says, I told the caretaker I wanted them to cook the food like I had when I was a kid that I miss. Not what That's not what they do, Rick. That's not what they do. They cook it the way food is normally cooked today. They don't spice it up the way you had it when you were a kid, fix it the way you had it when you were a kid. You're an idiot. But I do have that video where he told Marina PD. He called Marina PD and told Marina PD. He talked to the officer that he did a welfare check on me, and tried to turn it around and say that I did a welfare check on him. And the cop says, "Sorry, that's a lie. She never did a welfare check on you. You did one on her." Because he just happened to be the cop that came to the door and did the welfare check. And I invited him in. I don't know what the hell you're here for. I didn't do a call for service. And he said, "Well, this is a welfare check." Well, I said, "Okay." Well, I opened the damn security door and I let him in. I said, "Come on in." Uh, you know, and I told the cop, "Thank you for your service." And the cop told me, "Thank you for your service, ma'am." I said, "Yes, sir." And my badge is older than the hills because I got it from Don Gasparini. And he died in 2015. You know, and he's buried in the same cemetery as my folks, my family members that have passed. I'd love to hear that. I'd absolutely love to hear that. He was talking to his therapist about you and me. Yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious. It's funny. And I'll bet you he didn't leave it up either. He was telling the therapist about you and me, and I'll bet you anything he did not leave that up. I'll bet he privatized it. I don't privatize my shit. I don't privatize my videos. So sorry. Mine are all public. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall for that one. Yeah, that's all he's got is a garbage channel. And he does it. Well, I don't do it like I used to. I don't do YouTube like I used to. The hell you don't, Crude. How many videos you put up a day? And then you privatize them. You won't leave them up because they're full of lies. You don't want to be caught lying through your teeth. Well, excuse me, gums. You don't have a tooth in your head. Lying through your gums. Yipper. I think that's hilarious. He lies like a dog, man. Like I said, you could color it with crayons on a piece of paper. He couldn't describe it. He couldn't do it. He can't do it. He can't look at it and then take the paper away and say what he saw. He can't describe it standing there holding it or sitting there holding it. I bet you that was hilarious though, John. I'll bet it was hilarious. I love the video that he put up when he was hiding in the dark after he read or somebody told him that you had posted 2 or 3 days earlier that you were coming to Houston. And he was sitting there in the dark. Patriot Defense says, "Wait, I was holding paper." Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, and away and I'm out. Yeah. Yeah. But if you colored him a picture and asked him to describe what he's looking at, he couldn't do it. Even if you a colored picture with crayons, even. Yeah. I can't wait till this Thanksgiving. Can't wait for this Thanksgiving. Um, when he didn't have a turkey. No, it's not illegal to travel to Houston. Absolutely correct. And I don't make a bunch of bullshit videos about him. When he gets on and he starts running his mouth about me, I have a right to talk back. And if he doesn't want me talking about him, he can keep his mouth shut about me. Keep my name out of his mouth. He's an idiot. He says, I'm scared to death of him. I ain't afraid of him. I am not afraid of him. He made a video and said that he was going to, the Lord Devil's Hitman isn't giving turkeys out this year. However, he's dropping off man diapers to Rick. There you go. There you go. Lord Devil's Hitman. Absolutely. He needs diapers because he craps his pants. And he claims he doesn't wear underwear. And I've seen it running down the back of his leg. And then he's showing his shoe, and you can see the fecal material on top of that fake foot of his on that shoe. Yet, Cruz said if I come to Houston, he'd double tap me, kick me in the head, and grape shell. Yeah, I'd like to see him try it. That's premeditated murder. First degree. Yeah, he forgot to tell HPD that. Yeah, just really conveniently forgot. He forgot to tell them that he used to be law enforcement. He used to be U.S. Marshal. He used to be Homeland Security. Yeah, yeah. He used to protect the president. So, you know, who protects this? Who protects the president? Secret Service. Secret Service. He didn't tell them that either. It's called murder with malice in Texas. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's pre-planned, so it's first degree murder. I do believe. Yep. Yeah, the secret is out. Yep, 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 yep. Patriot Defense says, yeah, they need to change that name. The secret is out. Yep. I mean, he has intent. He's planning it and he has intent. He's showing intent and he's showing it's pre-planned. You know, John Hansel says, although think about it, if Cruz tried to kick anyone, wouldn't he fall on his ass? Sure, he would. He couldn't kick anybody in the head. his leg would fall off. And the other leg, I guess, has got pustules all up and down it, leaking pus or something. He needs to bottle that, sell it. There you go, Rick. There's you some income. Bottle that, sell it before they cut the other one off. He's just pathetic. Says he's going to come to my front door, and when I answer the door and open the door, he's going to hit me right in the mouth. That's a threat of violence. He says, no, it ain't. Postulating lady parts. LOL, yeah. He's got new postulating lady parts. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I come up with that one. He had that big one on the back, that big ulcer on the back of his leg where it was rubbed raw. And I called that a postulating lady part. Yep. He needed a tampon or a Kotex to cut that one off. Yep. But if he talks about me, I could talk about him. It's fair game. It's just fair game. I don't know what to tell this idiot. He's an idiot. He doesn't have two brain cells to bump together. I'm telling you, there's something wrong with his brain. He can't get anything right. He can't get anything right. And Marina PD did look at my badges, and they said this is a really old badge, and that's the CERT badge, Sheriff's Emergency Response Team, that Don Gasparini handed me, and that's not a hazmat badge. And him and Preston claim I am impersonating a police officer. No, I'm not. You have to be in the performance of the duty of a police officer. Present a fake badge. And as an example there, Rick, now pay attention, Rick, because I know you never miss one of my streams. As an example, pull a car over and ask for registration, license, and proof of insurance and present a fake badge. So you have to be in the performance of the duty of a police officer. I don't carry that badge with me. Yeah. Patriot Defense says, what did the right brain cells say to the left brain cell? Patriot Defense, you're not very bright. Yeah, no shit. No shit. But you have to be in performance of a police officer and give a badge that is not an actual law enforcement badge. Show that and do that. And then Preston, News Now Preston, Nashville, says he's going to sue me. And he's going to sue John Hansel. How are you going to pay for that, fool? How are you going to pay for that, fool? when you borrow $20 for gas, and I actually went against what I've said I'd never give anyone any more money for anything. I didn't give a damn. And he asked me, please, here's my Cash App. Can you send me $20 for gas so I can get back and forth to work for the week? And I said, this is a loan. You're going to pay it back, right? Yep, I'll pay it back. The bank isn't open, or I go draw the money out of the bank. But they're closed. And then he turned around and lied and said I gave it to him. I didn't give it to you. It was a loan. Yeah, he says that Scott and I have sex every night. Yeah, yeah. How do you know, you peeping Tom? You peeking through my windows? All of 120 pounds and 4 foot tall? What are you standing on peeping through my windows, Preston? You peeping Tom. Yeah. And he said that I said that a police officer could only could only run 50 miles an hour in Illinois. I never said that. I said what I said was, and he says, and that's with siren lights. What I said was, the police in Illinois could only run 15, not 50, 15 miles an hour over the posted limit, speed limit in Illinois with lights and siren. And they had to, and that's with any emergency vehicle. That's ambulance, police department, doesn't matter. They can only run 15 miles an hour over the posted speed limit. He said, when I was talking about oh, the crap. I'll remember the term in a minute. It's been so many damn years since I've even had to think about this crap. Um, oh, it only meant a cop's wife. No, that's not what I said. I said as an example. As an example, cop's wife. He said, I said it could only mean a cop's wife. No. News Now, Preston, Nashville, you hillbilly. You can't understand English. You're a running dummy. And I said that wasn't even legal back then to even V note. It's called a V note. V is in Victor, V note. And they would V note the registration on the back, the license plate on the back of the vehicle. And I said, they would put in there like, and as an example, cop's wife. He said, I said it could only be a cop's wife. You're a lying piece of shit. Preston. You're nothing but a pest. Another example is cop's wife, cop's mother, cop's father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle. And that's called a V note. I'll Google it. I looked it up. She said it could only be a cop's wife. No, I never said that, bitch. You lying bitch. And the 50 miles an hour never came out of my mouth. It was 15, 1, 5, 15 miles an hour over the posted speed limit, which prevents police officers from driving through towns, villages, cities, 90 miles an hour. Just because they've got lights and siren on, they were only allowed to drive 15 miles an hour over the posted speed limit. And how do I know all this stuff? Just saying. Patriot Defense. I heard that. Yep, you heard me say it, but that's not all what Peston said I said. The hillbilly. And there's a video out there where Rick Crude is telling old Peston that he's to go after me and after me hard, or he's not coming. He's not going to have a place over on Rick's channel. That video's out there. You know, 50 never came out of my mouth. It was 15 over the posted speed limit with lights and siren only. And that's for any emergency vehicle. So if you're going down like the tollway over there, they have a tollway in Illinois, or it used to be a tollway. The posted speed limit is 70 miles an hour. You can only, as an emergency vehicle, ambulance, police car, doesn't matter. You can only drive 85 as a max speed with lights and siren. And it's called siren. It's not siren. Dumbass. So other people heard it right, except for old Peston. Because I Googled it in Illinois. No, the S, you hillbilly, is silent. Did you not go to grade school? Obviously not. What a fool. What a fool. And then he puts up his HIV report, supposedly his. If you got brains enough to read it, you bitches and bastards, he says. Didn't have your name on it. Somebody was HIV negative. And I played that video that Rick Crude said that God doesn't even like your kind of people because you're disgusting. So Peston says that come out of my mouth. No, it didn't come out of my mouth. It come out of Rick Crude's mouth. Yep. And different states have different laws. I'm talking about Illinois. And that is not a beer can, by the way. That'd be a Diet Coke, and it's room temperature. So you'd have to check your local law enforcement rules and regulations. And by the way, everybody can get one of those books. Has all of the traffic codes in it. You know, like you're speeding, you get pulled over if you've got improper lane usage, you got weaving within the lane, improper turns. You can buy one of those books too, but they're damn expensive. Let me just tell you that. But you can buy one of those through your state. But that's called a traffic code book. Has all the traffic codes listed and the meaning of each code. So when you get pulled over and you get a citation, there's a code on that ticket, and that's where that code comes from, is that book. How would I know that? I've got an old one at home, older, if my daughter hasn't thrown it out, in my bookcase. Because police officers have new ones every year. Why? Because they keep adding to it. That's why. And they'll change they won't change the numbers, but they'll change the verbiage in those traffic code books for citations. And it's not called the Speeding Ticket. It's called a citation, hillbilly. Yeah, hillbilly. One of my best friends live in Tennessee. She didn't talk like that. She's one of my best friends. I've known her for years. Yep. I don't, I don't understand this moron. He's a more off. He's not a moron. He's a more off. That's my made up word. Now watch the big running dummy say, "That's not even in the dictionary." No, it's not, dumbass. I just told you it was my made up word. It's my word. Jesus, crime in Italy. But I do not sub the News Now. Eston. And I don't sub to Rick Rude. I don't watch their garbage. Boy, my grapefruit tree is full of birds. They're up there. They're up there poking holes in the pink grapefruit, getting the juice out of them. But I've never seen such stupid people in all my life. Take what somebody says, twist it 180 degrees out of what they said, and then claim, swear to be damned, that's what you said. No. Prove it. Prove it, Pestone. You hillbilly. And then Dick Crude, good old Dick Crude, the cop caller, says that Jessica Hawes died from a childhood disease. No, she didn't. Stupid ass. You're a stupid ass. And she didn't live in Stillman Valley either. Dumbass. She lived on a rural route on Girl Scout Road. Dumbass. With her parents. Dumbass. On a farm. Dumbass. Next to her fraternal grandmother. Dumbass. She didn't die of some damn childhood disease. Where's your proof, Crude? I contacted her actual grandma and grandpa. Really? Did you know? Sam and Fran, is that who you contacted, bitch? Liar. What a liar. And his name was James. It wasn't Jim. He went by Jim. Dumbass. Her dad went by Jim, and everybody called him Jim. And he was a senior, and his son was a junior. Dumbass. And that would be Jess's brother. And I've lost contact with him since 2011. So there you go. News now, press star. Nashville. Journalist, my ass. You're a 1A auditor. You're a First Amendment auditor. That's all you are. And I'll bet the cops can't stand your ass. I'll bet they see you coming and they think, oh, Jesus Christ, look what's here. I just love it. I absolutely love it. Good old postulating lady parts. I love that. I made that up too. Yep, I love that saying. Good old Rick Root is postulating lady parts. Now he's got postulating lady parts on his other leg. I hope they cut the son of a bitch all the way off to his ass. I even tried to help him and told him what he had to do to get a electric wheelchair. And I told him how the doctor had to state it. I'd be damned if I'd do it again. And I did call to see, and I can't remember what agency it was, but it was an agency to see if I could get him some help with groceries. Not an EBT card either. When he was eating that rotten ground beef. And I told the lady, I said, he's going to get botulism. He needs some help. And I even put that up on YouTube the day after I did it, that I had done that. And she said, it's not illegal for anybody to eat rotten meat. I said, no, ma'am, you're misunderstanding. I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm saying it's not healthy. It's not good for him. He's going to get botulism, die with it. Even though, yeah, he's a jerk, but he's supposedly still a human being. Then he says, first he says he's all Mexican. Then he says he's Mexican and his great 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 grandma was an Indian. Well, you have to be at least 1%. And again, this is from the law that I learned, Indian in order to be able to be considered part of the tribe. You have to have that DNA, or you're not part of the tribe. You can't claim to be part of the tribe. The tribe will have nothing to do with you. I learned that years ago. So now he claims he's all Indian, pure, full-blooded Indian. Bull chips. Bull chips. You're a liar, Rick Crude. Good old Richard Cruz. People call you Ricky, too. Your name is Richard, dumbass. Richard Xavier Cruz. Alejandro. Alejandro. What the hell ever it is in Spanish. What a dummy. The battery's going to die on this thing. I've been on it for an hour and 33 minutes, too. God almighty. What a fool. And I don't know anything about the welfare bullshit that you're on. I've never been on it. I've never had an EBT card ever. And I told the lady, no, I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm saying, is there a program of some sort that he can that he can get on to get wholesome food, fresh beef, fresh ground beef, fresh vegetables, steamed fresh vegetables. He's got supposedly as a microwave. And she says, no, that's his problem. He wants to eat rotten meat. He can eat rotten meat. Nobody cares. I said, okay, thank you. I'll bet he don't find no damn turkeys this year. I'll bet you he don't. So it is what it is. And I don't know how Shell can do the cord thing. I don't get it. And I got to turn the lights on in here because the sun is below the tip of the mountains. And he never wrestled for WWE or WWF. He's not a professional wrestler. He doesn't know anything about wrestling. He wrestled for some foreign country. I'll put it that way, foreign country. For 25 to 50 bucks to get his ass kicked by midgets. Midget wrestler. He was never ever a professional wrestler. Ben says I do. And that's why he doesn't have that intro that he has anymore. I know more about wrestling than Rick. Absolutely. You do. You do, Ben. Absolutely. And he says, and Preston, good old Preston, that stupid ass says, I told you this didn't come out of my mouth, come out of Rick Rude's mouth because I played that video. I played that video. Shit didn't come out of my mouth, come out of his. I sue you. Yeah, what are you going to do? Go get empty beer cans for Rick Rude? What attorney takes that for payment of services rendered? Just a question. People want to know. So what's a 187? Uh, Ben, you know what a 187 is in wrestling? That's when they come from the top rope down with the chair and whatever. That's a 187. I think it's called a 187. You got some guy laying on the mat, another guy coming off the top ring or up on the turnbuckles, and they got a chair in their hand, and they're gonna, yeah. Rick Rude says, "In California, that means you're gonna kill me." Well, you ain't in California, bitch, and you ain't no law enforcement officer, and you never were. Nor were you a U.S. Marshal, nor were you part of Homeland Security, nor were you Secret Service, nor were you on a task force. Well, that's secret. I can't tell you the name of the task force. Bullshit. What a liar. Ben says, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember a while it's been a while since I heard that phrase. Sorry. Yeah, well, that's what that means. A 187 is you're coming down like off the turnbuckle or off the ropes. You got somebody laying on the mat and you've got a chair in your hand and you're going to come down and hit that person with that chair. That's what that means, 187. So I just refreshed your memory. But that bitch ain't in California. Oh, I got an ex-wife all over the world. I got ex-wives. Yeah, you've got, according to News Now Preston, Nashville, you've got all kinds of charges for $40,000, for Christ's sake, lacking paying in child support. You got one in Canada. You got one in the U.S. You were arrested for, and this is all according to Preston, the hillbilly. You were arrested for not having a permit to carry. You got a felony. You were charged with a felony over the black pizza delivery guy. And then you made a plea deal. It doesn't take away the original charge, dumbass. You were kicked off the internet for 10 months. There, Ricky. Just saying. Just saying. Best in the world. Wasn't he on the news for something? Yeah. When he chased a black pizza delivery guy and he was arrested on a felony charge. He had felony charges against him. Because he was chasing the guy with a pistol in his hand. He didn't have a permit to carry the pistol. He didn't have a license for the damn gun. I guess in Texas you got to have a license. I don't know. That was on the news. And because he made a plea deal, that was a felony. And he's a racist bigot. He always has been. That's what he was on the news for. Many claims, well, when I was a police officer, I fought 4 men for 45 minutes that were trying to have their way with a little girl, but I can't mention anything about her because she's just a little girl. Oh, the hell you can't. What's the law that says you can't mention her age? And then you claim that you were shot and stabbed and wrestled 4 men. That's physically impossible for 45 minutes. Nobody can do that. You're a liar. And you were never a police officer. Ever. And I noticed when you called the PD, you didn't tell them you were a police officer, did you? Did you? You know how many times I've had conversations with the PD here with several different officers, and I have all their cards, all their badge numbers, all their names. And I've told them every damn time I was prior law enforcement. I'm retired law enforcement. And I've always told them, thank you for your service. You got a real shitty job. The last lady I talked to, I told her, I says, you got a real shitty job. She turned around, looked at me, she said, what do you mean? I said, you can't win. You can never win. She says, I enjoy my job. And I said, I did mine too. And I told her, thank you for your service. And she turned around and told me, yes, ma'am, thank you for your service. I love my job. Said I did too. I loved what I did. Just saying. And that was the last one that I talked to. And that's the last time I've been into Marina PD to speak with them. So, God, I keep trying to remember that medical term for when his toes turned off or turned black and died and fell off. And when he initially finally broke down and went into a hospital, and he walks in there tape record, and they told him, shut it off. So all he does is kill the camera. Excuse me. I got another one coming. I told you. Oh, excuse me again. The doctor said, what did you put on your toes? And I have hearing aids, and I turned it up really loud. I didn't put anything on there. Oh, yes, you did. You put something on your toes that caused this. You absolutely have. Oh no, come on, Doc. I didn't do anything. I swear I didn't put anything on my toes. And the doctor said, yes, the hell you did. And that's on his old channel that he lost. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here because I've been on for Jesus, an hour and 49 minutes, almost 2 hours. So, and I didn't plan on being on for 2 hours because I come on an hour or half an hour late. So I'm going to get out of here. Everybody have a great evening. Get lots of rest. I'll get lots of good sleep. And, you know, hey, there's TOS. How you doing, TOS? I would love to know what your avatar is, TOS. I think it's just YouTube, but could be something else. It's good to see you here. I thank you for coming in the stream. But according to Rick Rude, when I step in Texas, I'm going to prison. Really? Really? I want to see you do that when I go to Katy, Texas, bitch. Because I'm going to move there, bitch. Catch you next time. My avatar is YouTube sign. Thank you. I thought so. I thought that's because it almost looks like a chainsaw because it's so small, and then you've got the YouTube insignia. I always wondered what that was. But it's this dummy. He's such a dummy. God, Rick Rude is so stupid. Yep. And all I can say is this bitch better be able to have sound evidence. And evidence isn't because it comes out of his mouth, because it comes out of his gums. And how can he eat French fries? How can he chew lettuce with gums? He can't. He swallows a shit whole. He swallows everything whole. He took a damn good T-bone steak and fried it in a pan on the stove. Oh, yeah, I see that. I see that. But it looks almost like a chainsaw. And then the YouTube signal or signal insignia. I'm going to prison. Really? Really? I'm going to prison, bitch? Really? I can't wait. I can't wait, fool. I can't wait. Put me in prison. Put me in prison. I can't wait. I've never been arrested. I've never been cuffed. I can't wait for the opportunity. So Score Posthumous Maximus was banned and their comments were removed. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to get the heck out of here. You guys have a great evening. Get lots of good sleep, lots of rest. 109 degrees today. Hey, Bridget, Bridget, we're just going to call you Bridget. Normstad. Hey, Lady Di. Welcome. Welcome to my stream. Yeah. How's your mom doing? I got to ask, how's your mom doing? I saw the kittens in Meow Meow today. I'm going to make a call. I'm concerned about them. Yeah, well, good for you. Go for it. Yeah, he claims he threw the kittens down the road on the street, and he doesn't have the kittens anymore. Yeah. There's no law that I got to feed a cat. That's true, Rick. But there are laws against animal abuse. There are those laws. Oh, but obviously they don't pertain to him. She's being herself. We went to the beach. She had a lovely time. That's awesome. That's awesome. It should have put her in a really good mood. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. I want to see if I can play my song that I wrote. He's going to let them mate nonstop. He said so. Well, then he's going to have to take care of them. He's going to have to take care of them. Because when he stops taking care of them and he allows them to continue to mate nonstop and have more and more and more and more and more kittens and then won't feed the mama, he's going to have some problems. I know they hear if you can't afford to get your pet spayed or neutered, If you can't afford to do it, they'll do it for free here. So, I'm just saying. And they'll go by, if you're going to pay for it, if it's a dog, you pay per pound. I know we had a Dobe and we got her spayed, and I asked them how much it was going to cost. I said, I'm not complaining, I'm just inquiring because I need to have this done. I don't want her mating, and winding up with puppies. And then I've got to, find good homes for puppies. Bridget says the city will find out they are in not good living conditions. Yeah, of course, right, because he's got cockroaches and he's got rats in that dump he lives in, and the roof leaks, and he claims there's a man living upstairs, and I don't know who it is. Well, I'll tell you what, Rick, you could actually call for police for service to figure out who's living up there, couldn't you? There, Ricky. Smelly cannot even afford a gallon of milk. Well, that's too bad. I wouldn't give him a penny. I would not. And the oath that I took as a volunteer firefighter, if he was on fire, I wouldn't pee on him to put him out. I'm just saying. And we're all supposed to be non-biased, regardless of who it is. You're supposed to be non-biased, whether it's police officer, firefighter, it doesn't matter. You're supposed to be non-biased. Smelly might have kidnapped the person up there, maybe. They need to check that out too. That's true. That's very true. That's very true. I'm not calling him. I don't give a damn. I ain't calling him. Somebody else can call him. Of course, I'll get the credit for it. I'll guarantee you that. I'll get the credit for it. Because I always get the credit for it. But he's about stupid anyway, ignorant. Got the brains Christ gave a yard slug. Nor does he have a purpose. Smelly, I'm about to batter up with you. We shall play. There you go. Yep. But I'm moving to Katy, Texas. Watch me move to Katy, Texas. The second you take a step on state of Texas property, you're going to prison. Really, Rick? Ooh, makes me so excited. Makes me all warm and bubbly on the inside. Not going to be for a while yet, but when I move, that's where I'm moving, is Katy, Texas. Step up to the plate there, Rick. Let's dance, bitch. Yep. So, don't know what to tell you there, Ricky. And being as how as you like proper names used, Richard Xavier Cruz? Or Richard Javier Cruz? That would be the Spanish version of Xavier. So step up and let's dance. Oh God, that's enough to make me want to puke. Just that thought. Oh well. With that, I got to get out of here, guys. I've been on for 2 hours. So you have fun playing with Smelly, Bridget. You have fun with that. And then, of course, he's going to blame me. I'll get the credit for it. I don't give a damn. He can blame me all he wants. He has no proof of anything. He thinks because it comes out of his gums. And if you noticed, his nose is all over his face. And if you notice that when he talks, and he doesn't have the camera on him anymore when he talks, his chin hits his nose. I'm just saying. And he says he's so good looking. I wouldn't look at him if he put a paper bag over his head. Couldn't get beyond the gross smell and the greasy hair. Ugh. The crap in the pants. The poop on his shoes. Human fecal material on his shoes. Yeah. So I am going to get out of here. Everybody have a great evening. We're going to talk to you. We'll talk to you the next time. With that 73. And I'm going to put that in the comment. There we go. I cannot see the keyboard. It's not in my lap. I've got to move it in my lap in order to be able to type on this. So there you go. 73, everyone. Anybody that wants to know what 73 means, it's everything that's good. It's nothing, absolutely nothing negative. It's all good thoughts. So, and it's amateur radio jargon. So with that, I'm out of here, 73, and we'll catch you the next time. See.
Viewer discretion is advised.
They just think it's so funny. No!
We are federales.
You know, the mountain police.
If you're the police, where are your badges?
Badges? We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.